Hi, my name is Mia. I am 26 and I'm currently living in Wolverhampton. I am currently the general manager of the Leicester's Arms, which is in Brood. I've been acting general manager from January last year until September, where I got my official promotion. I've got a degree in early years and childhood studies, but I used to run weddings. I was an event and wedding coordinator while I did my degree, and that's how I got into hospitality, and fell in love with hospitality really. So we've been open at my work now for just coming up to 2 years. So I was deputy manager to begin with, and then I just kind of worked my way up, trying to get the pub to like a really secure place and where we're getting our regulars in and seeing families that we see every week. I've done a variety of work within hospitality really. So I used to be a wedding and events coordinator, where I was coordinating baby showers, wakes, weddings for up to 150 people, as well as running the hotel at the same time. We also had a restaurant on the site which was 84 covers, so I'd run that as well as the weddings. So I tend to do like go in, sort the hotel out, take any calls, do any admin, run the wedding and the restaurant at the same time, finish the restaurant up and then stay to finish the wedding off. And then in the role I'm in now as a general manager, so we are 64 to 76 covers. I can flex up and down on the tables, so that's kind of sizing that I look after at the moment. So originally when I first started this role, we had kind of less covers, but I've added more seats and more seating areas available so that I can increase the cover size. So on our larger days, such as like Mother's Day and Father's Day, because we're more of like a family friendly like gastro pub, we can seat more and do more covers. So that's kind of size I'm used to at the moment. In my current role, on our busy shifts, we have designated sections. So at the moment, I'm responsible for at the most like 5 chefs, 2 kitchen porters. We have upstairs and downstairs split of restaurants. So I would have one staff member upstairs doing the orders and being responsible for that floor. The same downstairs, one bar staff member, a runner, and then somebody who's responsible for outside the front and outside the back. So I'm looking at sort of like a minimum of 4, kind of flexing up towards 8 staff on the front of house, and then about 7 back of house. My role in that is host. So the host role is sort of meeting and greeting the customers, sitting the customers down, coordinating any allergies, making sure we're getting the tables turned, making sure any special occasions are taken note of. So just general kind of looking after and making sure the shift is cohesive from front to back of house, because we have an open kitchen as well. So it's really important that we're all working in unison to make that shift go well. In comparison to my role before, where obviously it was a much larger scale, because it was events, I would have obviously the kitchen team, where I'd have 3 chefs, 2 kitchen porters, my time's running out, and then I'd have 3 members of staff in the restaurant, and then up to 10 on the wedding. In terms of P&Ls, I do a weekly forecast, and then kind of break it down into daily, just for my like supervisor staff, so I can tell them what we're aiming for each day and what we're aiming for each week. I will base that on obviously what I've worked with the accountants to produce as well, in terms of a larger P&L. But then I kind of break it down even further, because obviously hospitality is really affected by weather, local events, things like that. So I have my own spreadsheets that include the figures from the accountant team, but also break it down a little bit further so we can improve our sort of predicting and forecasting in general for the pub. I do work to budgets, but a large part of my current role has been to strip back and cut from the previous general manager. So I have been working to budgets, but really my role has been centred about bringing everything back, lowering break evens. So whilst I do have budgets, my main job really in this role has been to kind of cut costs and lower where I can. So I can work to budgets, I can do P&Ls, but I'm also really, really good at cutting costs and making sure we're working super efficiently based on what we're taking in. So firstly, I think I'd be a good fit for this role because I am really used to working in high volume and doing different things. So not just dining, but also high volume bar. Obviously, when I've worked in events, it is sort of relentless. You're doing drinks all day, every day, and it has to be perfect. It's somebody's, biggest day of their life. I'm also really ambitious. So I love to go into a business, see where it can improve, see where its strengths are, push that really heavily, strip back on things that need improving. And also, I'm 26 and I've hit a real height in my career here in the UK. So I'm a general manager of a beautiful independent gastro pub where, we're really popular in the area. We've hit some real highs, being like Traveller's Choice for TripAdvisor. So, I've really soared high in this role, but being independent, I am sort of as high as I can go in this job where I am. In terms of the relocation, I do want to experience something that is kind of like of a higher demand in a beautiful area. That's a new challenge for me, and something different. Like I love a challenge. I love seeing how far I can push myself and working in a great business.